Hi there, this is Lab 4 for AGNR 131 Soil Science, and this is part 2. So what I'm going to talk about here, and put my glasses on, and I'm going to actually read a little bit from the lab handout, which you'll have available to you. But I want to explain what we're doing here. So if you look here, you can see we've got a whole bunch of plants growing. So we started these plants just about the time the semester started, so that we would actually get to this point. And we're almost ready. I wanted to actually wait to do this lab and talk about it until we actually have something to show you. But we're almost ready here, and you'll see in a second, for us to go to the second part of that. So what I'm going to do is explain what's going on here and why we have all these plants. But to do that, so to make sure you understand it, I'm just going to go ahead and read off the handout that you guys will have available to you. So this is Lab 4, and it's effects of soil drainage and salinity on plant growth. Effects of soil drainage and salinity on plant growth. So we already talked a little bit before about the drainage part of this. So what we're doing in this part of it, this would be the second part, which would be the effect of salinity on plant growth. So what we're trying to simulate here is what happens when you have poor drainage, perhaps, or you already have soil salinity issues in your soil naturally. So how will plants grow? Or in our case, we live in the West. When we have irrigation water, because all of our plants need to be irrigated to actually be successful and grow, what happens if we already have salts in our soil, or we're using irrigation water that's got salts in it? How does that actually work over time for our plant growth? So what we did was we used nursery soil. We used actually a pretty nice soil here. We didn't actually use natural soil in this. We could have. That would have been another option. But what we've done is we've actually grown all these plants in just good nursery mixed soil. But we've chosen plants with different tolerances to salinity. We'll do another lab exercise that actually looks at salinity too. But for this one here, we're going to actually take these plants out in a week, and we're going to grow them hydroponically. So when we grow them hydroponically, that means we grow them without soil. So we're going to take these out of the soil once they get big enough to grow, and we're going to choose. We got a variety here. I'm not sure which ones we'll choose. We'll talk next week about which ones we actually chose. But we're going to actually put these in a water or a liquid-based growing solution, like kind of gets popular for certain kind of plants that we won't mention here. So some of you guys, probably a lot of you, know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to grow it in a nutrient-rich. They're going to get all the nutrients they need from this particular solution that we're going to make up. It's called Hoagland's solution, so it's kind of an ideal mix, all the nutrients plants are going to want. But we're going to actually take that, and then we have 3 different treatments. And I've explained what the treatments actually are, and we will actually put different levels of salinity and sodicity in our treatments. And then we're going to grow each of these plants in each of those treatments. So perfectly good, all the nutrients needed, and then a low and a medium and a high salinity treatment. And we'll look at the comparison of how plants actually behave, how the different species behave, and if there's any effect at all on that. Is there going to be a problem? Can they handle it? Can they not handle it? What do they actually look like? So this is going to be like a sped up version of what actually happens in nature if we don't have good drainage in our soils, and we have irrigation water that's got some salts in it. And over time, those salts accumulate. They don't get washed away. The water evaporates, but the salts are actually left there. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it over a period of about a month. And if we do it right, we should actually see some pretty dramatic results in this. So we'll see you the next time around.